What is going on, GPC fans out there? Welcome back to another video of mine. I'm Shoutout Josh, and I'll be bringing you my Week 4 Season 7 match versus Baby Eric, a pretty well-renowned battler in the community, and he's definitely really decent. His only loss was Week 1 versus Turbo Blaze and his team of busted offensive Pokemon. So, and he's won his other two games with a pretty reasonable margin and pretty just really well in general is what I'm trying to say. So he's 2-1, sitting nice and pretty. We're 1-2, and trying to pull off the upset here against Baby Eric because his team is definitely quite scary, and my team doesn't have the best matchup in the world, which is normally not always the case since my team is pretty decent for the most part. But in this case, I don't really have a lot of natural ways on breaking Mega Scizor, and Volcarona can easily sweep me at +1. So I got to be worried about that. Not to mention that Protein Ninja is a really big threat since I really don't know what it can run. So I did quite a bit of studying. I watched all three of his replays. I watched his week 1 video that he posted on his channel. He hasn't posted his week 2 or 3 games as we speak, and I don't know if he will, but I'm not going to get into that. So I just did as much as I could with what I saw in the replays and what I did from his week 1 game. And after a bit of analysis, I knew for sure that Garchomp, I knew Greninja, Volcarona, and Scizor were coming 100%. And then Gardevoir made sense versus my team because of Scarfer. Late game could easily beat me, and it definitely breaks down Venusaur. And it can trick my Gastron if need be. So I figured that would come, but it was still kind of a 50-50. Pelipper Rain, it was something that could kind of beat me because he's offensive. Hurricane smacks my Venusaur. And if you did see my week 3 game, obviously, it just got obliterated by a Hurricane Dragonite. And since Pelipper gets the rain, it can't miss. And it's not like I really Ocone with much, unless I were to run like HP Electric. But yeah, not the best set in the world, obviously. So, So there was just a lot of things in this game that were kind of off. Like, Scolipede could have done work if I was like a Z mover, but like Scizor just walls me for eternity. So like, there wasn't much I could do. So I thought about this for a while, spoke with it with Hunter, and I actually thought about doing a mock with my boy Heo. He contacted me recently and started talking again for the first time in about a year, so that was cool. But yeah, I didn't really do any mocks. I did talk with Hunter for a while though, and I did my own little thinking, and I did come up with a team of 6 that I feel like can defeat any team of 6 that he does bring versus me. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. First set we'll go into we'll go into this Pokemon because this is a Pokemon that is definitely supposed to set up the momentum for me. As you can see, I'm rocking a Spike set because obviously he has a really great switch with Mega Scizor, and what's really good about this is that I could potentially just set up some spikes, and I can potentially force him to defog, and I get a free baton pass into a Pokemon and potentially pass speed into my Venu, my Togekiss, or my Kyurem Black. And if I see he doesn't click Bullet Punch automatically against my Scolipede, I know he won't click a Steel move most likely, meaning that Togekiss and Kyurem might be sort of a free switch, and obviously Kyurem doesn't want to take too much chip plus a Bullet Punch naturally, so I would have to be worried of that, but this does give me the opportunity to work with that. Not to mention that Mega Horn and Rock Slide can hit. Rock Slide obviously just obliterates Volcarona as long as he's not Charty Berry, but I do 100% expect the Z move to break through Scolipede if I do try to click Protect and play mind games with him, or even just for Venu if he just wants to blow me away. Either or, really. But so I definitely don't expect Charty Berry, and I do expect them to run a pretty speedy set to outspeed a max speed Kyurem, and Rock Slide will just be able to obliterate that for the most part. And especially since I'm max attack, because I do want max attack to optimize my damage with Mega Horn versus Pokemon such as Seismitoad and Garchomp, stuff of that nature, and it's just enough speed to outspeed and max speed Garchomp. Not much more to say. So this is the Pokemon that's meant to be passing speed into either of, any of these 3 Pokemon, but even Typhlosion can work for like Greninja, even though as you'll see I don't really have anything to hit Greninja. But you'll see what I mean with this. This will be like my last Pokemon I'll go over. But let's go over the first Pokemon that can potentially get some speed, Mr. Kyurem Black. As you can see, you'll see all 3 of these Pokemon, Togekiss, Venusaur, and Kyurem Black, do all have the same speed tier, because that's what I had. I wanted them to hit that with a speed boost, and that is a Scarf Pelipper. I felt like that was the best middle ground to hit with a +1 if I were to pass a speed. If I were to pass a speed boost into this is what I'm saying. As I'm rocking Ice Beam, Rock Slide, even with a minus attack nature, just obliterates Volcarona because my sky high attack stat, and no special attack to basically chip his team down. HP Fire and Ice Beam. HP Fire to a Mega Scizor if he's really bulky. Um, it does around 60 to 70% according to the most calcs I was doing. I do expect him to bring a bulkier Scizor. Don't expect him to bring offensive Scizor. And if he's not offensive Scizor with no attack, I live 2 bullet punches. He can't kill me. He can't kill me with 2 bullet punches from full. Is what I'm trying to say with this amount of bulk, which is really nice. Enough HP to optimize my leftovers, put the rest in Spit Def because why not? I do live 1 Scar from Moonblast from Gardevoir if need be, and I can potentially roost. And if he locks himself into anything but a Fairy move / Focus Blast, I can actually just roost all on him, which is always pretty nice. And yeah, this Pokemon's definitely a really good win con because if I do get speed, very little in this team actually really kill me due to my insane amount of HP that I'm running. And with my really decent bulk, I just live almost any hit. It can potentially stop Greninja depending on what its coverage is. Because obviously you can't run low kick because it's XY protein. So you could run like Rock Slide, HP Dragon, yeah, stuff of that nature if you know what I mean. Or you can even just run Specs, and that still wouldn't do too much damage to me. It just depends. I actually didn't look too much into that, but I would imagine Kieran Black with this amount of bulk can definitely take a Specs Dark Pulse and such. But yeah, that's Kieran Black. The next Pokemon is this thing. I thought about Scarf, but I didn't like Scarf particularly because of Scizor, and it could potentially just bullet punch me twice. So I figured this was the better middle ground. 136 because it just goes from 251 to 253, if you're wondering. Yeah, Air Slash Fire Blast, but Berry Berry to potentially lure it if I'm weakened enough. You might think he can kill me. Yeah, I just blow him away with a Fire Blast. It's enough special attack to Oko a max HP, max def Scizor with Fire Blast because I felt like that was my best middle ground. It's just a pretty decent amount of HP and enough speed to outspeed a Scarf Pelipper with a speed boost. Defog, you'll see, is quite important for Typhlosion in the back because it will optimize its damage by a lot once it hits the field. And yeah, if I get a speed boost, Air Slash can just flinch him down and sweep late game. Even though my luck with Air Slash has not been the best when it comes to pivotal moments, as you can remember, I didn't get a pivotal flinch versus Coco to at least force a 0-0 loss, and I didn't get. Not only did I not get a flinch against the Mega Aggron, but I missed the turn before. So yeah, it's just not the best luck in the world for Mr. Togekiss or Miss Togekiss, whatever you want to call her. But yeah, I'm hoping for a different change of events this week. The next Pokemon is Mega Venusaur. A bit of an offensive set, and as you can see, we're not running Roost. Synthesis, because if he brings Rain, it's not really the best. Obviously, if he doesn't bring Rain, then Synthesis would be okay, but honestly, I just don't see the need for it. Sleep Powder, because if Volcarona tries to sit up on me, I can put it to sleep. I definitely don't expect Lomberry, so if I do land in Sleep Powder, that would be really good, and I can potentially go into Scolipede and work from there, or even like my Gastrodon, as you'll see. HP Fire to blow away Scizor. It's enough special attack to basically do decent damage to Garchomp. I think Giga Drain to a KO the offensive Garchomp. Does like 33% or something like that. Sludge Bomb is for Gardevoir, obviously, and I do live any like normal hit from full because Venusaur is just that bulky. And Giga Drain for like just Seismitoad, obviously, and just for neutral damage in general. I felt like this was a pretty decent Pokemon to pass speed into and potentially just, get some really nice chip and put things in range of my Kieran Black, Togekiss, or even Scolipede if I do somehow catch the Scizor, even though he should 100% expect HP Fire because it just makes sense. But yeah, it's also, as you can see, just the same exact speeds here. No need to explain it because I've already said it like 3 times, maybe even more. Anyways, next is my Gastrodon Rindleberry. It's enough bulk to live a +1 Giga Drain from obviously from a Quiver Dancing Volcarona. I don't expect Grassium Z, so I don't have to worry about that too much. And Stone Edge will just obliterate it, so that's always good. Recover because I want longevity, and Earth Power and Scald. Scald's a good move if I want to try to catch the Scizor and burn him. That'd be cool. I do have to worry about Storm Train, Gardevoir, trying to freaking get HP back from my Scald, so I'll play around that. and Earth Power is just pretty decent stab for like Seismitoad, and I guess even Garchomp. I wanted to run Ice Beam for Garchomp actually because it could actually set up on me, but if I don't get the burn obviously, but I just really couldn't fit it. And that's what I was. This was the last Pokemon I built on my team actually because I didn't know what 4 moves to bring. I knew for sure I was bringing Stone Edge and Recover. I just didn't know what other 2 moves to put. I decided to put Stab because why not? But looking back at it, Ice Beam probably would have been the better play. But it's whatever at this point. Next is my oh wait, I went over this. My last Pokemon is my Typhlosion, bringing a bit of a wacky set. It's enough attack to Oko a Volcarona after rocks. No, not after rocks, just Oko's it without Charty Berry. Put the rest in the special attack and just max speed because I want to speed tie stuff. Because yeah, I want to speed tie like Celebi if it runs max speed Celebi, obviously. And I think it, yeah, also good for Volcarona. Not to mention that a eruption to a Volcarona naturally from it does a decent amount. I wanted to bring Charcoal, but I realized Power Herb Solar Beam was the way to go because you might not expect me to have a grass coverage move on this thing. You might expect HP Grass over like HP Electric, as you could see that I have. The thing was, it was debatable between HP Electric and HP Ice because I really did not want to underprep for Pelipper. And I just felt like this was my best option because otherwise if he has Pelipper, it just kind of walls Typhlosion. But HP Ice at the same time would have been decent for Garchomp. But looking back at it, it was kind of a 50-50 in terms of conditions of that sort of sorts. And yeah, I've been narrating this for a long time because I'm really trying to get analysis into my team. So anyways, that's the whole thing. So let's just get right into the game. So I'll pause and I'll be right back. And bada bing, bada boom, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, we'll switch sides, so don't worry about that. But as you can see, he brought the Guard, brought the Seismitoad, brought the Greninja, brought the Scizor, Volcarona, and Garchomp. He did, of course, bring the 3 that I 100% expected because he has brought them to all 3 of his games beforehand. So I just needed Recoming. Volcarona was a huge threat to me. Scizor's great because I don't really have good chances. I don't have good ways of killing it. And Greninja is just Greninja. Protein Greninja is good, so why not bring it? Garchomp was interesting. Gardevoir was interesting, but Seismitoad it made sense because it was his best rocker versus me, in my opinion. Guard made sense as a Scarfer, but he hasn't brought Scarf once this season, and he's brought it twice. One week was a Wish Protect set, and the other one was a Combine Encore to Attack set. So I had to be worried about what he could be, and if he was Scarf, I had to make sure he didn't trick my Gastron or anything of that sort. So this is what I was thinking, and looking at leads. Venusaur is really not bad because it can potentially just drop a Sleep Powder since he has absolutely no immunities most likely. So not to mention that it just completely stops lead Seismitoad unless he's like Sash Endeavor max speed. But I'm not sure if he's into that kind of banter. So let's just put this on normal and we'll switch sides as we commentate. So he does lead with the thing, and I'm not gonna over predict. I'm just gonna click Giga Drain. I know he's gonna go Scizor, but like, there's no need to click HP Fire automatically because he can easily just go into Volcarona as well. Either or. And by the way, I thought this thing got Rock Slide, and I was looking in prep, and I put Rock, and I saw it didn't get Rock Slide. I saw HP Rock, and I was like, oh, that's actually really disappointing. But yeah, those were sad days. So at this point, he is going to scout for the HP Fire, and I noticed. So I'm going to click the Sleep Powder, and I put the thing to sleep, which is always nice because Garchomp could be potentially really bad for my Kieran Black, as he's not going to go straight into his thing as I click Giga Drain. So at this point, I do have a really good soft check to a Quiver Dancing Volcarona being my Gastron, since I do live a +1 Giga Drain as he clicks Sub, which is interesting because I have to assume that he is Quiver Dance. But then he goes for Roost. So now at this point, I'm really confused if he is even a setup set because he's already shown 2 attacks which aren't even like setup, I guess you can say, being Roost and Substitute. And if he has Quiver Dance, he can only be 1 move. And like, if he's Mono Fire, he can't touch my Typhlosion. Albeit he could try to outstall me, but he probably couldn't. But it's interesting because if he is set up, I don't really know if he can beat me with anything, considering my team, unless he really was able to chip my stuff down. Anyways, I make the pretty sick play, and I click Earth Power, predicting him to go into the Gardevoir. So yeah, that was kind of cool. As now he goes straight back into the Scizor as I had doubled myself into the Togekiss, so he made a pretty decent play, I guess, even though he doesn't stay in here because he knows Bullet Punch even naturally won't Oko me. As I do click Fire Blast anyway, so now he does know I have coverage for the for the Scizor. But at this point, I see he's not leftovers, so I'm just gonna go for he is leftovers. I'm lying. At this point, I'm just gonna go for the Air Slash because Fire Blast did a decent amount of damage. So if I get 2 flinches, I'm going to be in a pretty good spot. So I get one, and I'm hoping Togekiss has not gotten 2 straight flinches once this season. And for the first time, I get 2 straight flinches. So now I'm looking really, really decent. As at this point, I have no reason to click Air Slash because he has no flying resist. As he's going to go hard into his Volcarona, which is really interesting. And he takes 61%, and he's not lefties, and he makes a really interesting play. He goes straight for the Quiver Dance. I'm guessing he was predicting my Gastron to come in, but he will just die, which is always that's always great. Togekiss gets a kill. So now we're up 5-6. As he goes into L Pro, I'm expecting the Ice Beam, so I'm just gonna go into my Gastron. I take it pretty well. That's my best switching overall. As he clicks Rock Slide here, actually, and this damage proves that he is max attack. And this is probably the worst play of the game for me. I wanted to scout for Grass Knot, and obviously I have a 410 resist with Scolipede, but not for 1 second did I think it could be Acrobatics. And the thing that probably should have screamed Acrobatics was that he had no item, but I didn't see that in the beginning because I don't even look at that shit. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna scout for the Grass Knot, and I'm going to go hard into my Scolipede as I'm going to catch the meanest of Acrobatics right now, and since he's no item and that stab, I'm just going to get obliterated and I just die. Which, this is detrimental for the main reason that my whole team was prepped around Speed Pass. And all my Pokemon are prepped to have Speed Tiers with a Speed Boost. So now essentially my whole team is very slow, and as you'll see, he's a very bulky Garchomp. Meaning, if I would have invested a lot more, if I would have put more EVs into my speed, I can probably outspeed Garchomp with my Kyurem Black. But as you'll see later on, I actually don't. So now I gotta bluff the Scarf as he goes into the Garchomp, and that does literally 0, proving that he's actually very bulky and Spadef. So I probably should have put 2 and 2 together and realized this was a bulky SD set, but it didn't hit my mind for a while. As I know he hasn't burned a turn to sleep yet, so I'm just gonna go hard Kyurem Black. And doing this, it puts the oh holy shit, I'm so bad. Okay, okay, let me just skip all this. Going Kyurem Black forces him to think that I do have enough speed to outspeed him. So, and you'll see how that really matters late game. As he goes straight into the Scizor as I click Ice Beam, and at this point, I'm not sure if you'll predict me to have HP Fire, but I just do click it out right here, and I Oko. Well, I don't Oko him, but I kill him from where he was at. And that's huge because not only did he not click Bullet Punch to get damage off on me, so I'm at full HP, which as you'll see, also matters late game. But I just kill off a Pokemon, which, like I said, I didn't really have a great way of dealing with, especially since my Typhlosion doesn't really have great coverage for a really decent Fire Switch, and being Garchomp. Sajbato no longer takes an eruption from where he's at, so that doesn't matter. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I was Blazed because of Trace Gardevoir. I wouldn't be able to trace Flash Fire, which I thought was pretty interesting. As now he goes into the Terravolt Gardevoir, and at this point, I got a Scout for the Scarf, so I know Togekiss can take 2 Moonblasts really easily due to my bulk, and I can just Roostall him off. And this damage does prove to show that he is just max special attack timid, the standard set. So at this point, I just go for Roost twice. I almost clicked the Air Slash here, predicting the Greninja, but I don't. And this is the play of the game here, really. I know he's not going to click Rock Slide, so I'm going to stay in here, and I'm going to click Air Slash because I want to put him in range of a Sludge Bomb later in the game. Otherwise, Sludge Bomb doesn't kill, and I can't click Giga Drain, obviously, because he'll click Acro and he'll resist. So I need to make sure he's in range of Sludge Bomb, a neutral Sludge Bomb, as he clicks Power Up Punch. And I'm going to click Air Slash, and I'm going to Oko this Greninja. And this, I did not expect this for 100. I did not expect that at all. He does give me a well play in the chat, I guess you can say, but I did not expect him to click Power Up Punch, not for 2 seconds. After I saw that, I literally was like, no way. And when I saw that Greninja go down, I was looking like I was in the driver's seat. Like, Sidemental was really weakened, and like with the combination of both Venusaur and Kyurem Black, Gardevoir cannot beat me. So I was like, okay, this is looking really good. And I didn't know this was SD, but like I said, I should have put 2 and 2 together and realized that. And it's gonna cost me a bit, but like I said, I'm going to go to my Kyurem Black. I need to force him to think that I do outspeed him, because he should know by now that I realize he is a bulkier set. So he is gonna think that, even though he shouldn't stand. And I'm gonna click Ice Beam and kill the thing, as he's gonna go into his Gardevoir again and just offensively pressure me out. I do live 1 Moonblast, but I don't kill him if anything anyways, so there's no need to just go for such a raw play. If I had Iron Head, I would just stand, because I just I'm tired. I'm honestly just tired of taking all these Moonblasts, but I can't do it as I could have. I double into my Venusaur. If I had gone into my Kieran Black there, I won the game outright because I would just click Ice Beam twice and I'd win. As he burns his last turn of sleep, as I click Giga Drain, I do exactly 25%. And as you'll see, he does click Sub as I click Sleep Powder, which is really bad because I did not expect Sub, but I missed anyway, so it didn't matter at all. But now I see he's Sub, so I'm gonna realize he's SD, and this is when I realized that shit is hitting the table. You may be wondering, but you have a Kieran Black in the back. But here's the thing: I don't. All my Venusaur, my Togekiss, and my Kieran Black are all running the same exact speed tier. And since he outsped my Venusaur every single time, I'm not gonna think it's a speed tie or anything like that. I know I know he outspeeds my Kieran Black now. And if he has a dragon move, that could be bad. But the thing is, he has to be able to have. He needs to be able to touch my Togekiss, and I'm assuming he's sub SD Earthquake for sure. So that means he has to run Edge. He has to run Edge. As at this point, he's going to click Substitute again. As I click Giga Drain, maybe he's thinking that Giga Drain's a roll to not kill his Substitute, but it's definitely killing his subs. As at this point, he's going to go for an Earthquake as I click Giga Drain and put him in a little bit of HP, as he's just going to kill me off with an Earthquake. I can't go into Kiss and like play around his edges. There's just no need to because he's just going to get more HP. At this point, he doesn't know he doesn't know my Kieran Black slower than him. As he clicks Edge and I live, as I click Ice Beam and I kill him, and now we're up 4-1 and we're looking really decent. And he says in the chat that he 100% choked there, and he definitely did. And I'll explain why. Because this whole game, I guess he thought my Kieran Black was faster, and the reason why he choked was because he should have gone for SD twice on the Venusaur, and if he did, I think he won outright. But the thing is, I think he might have been in range of Solar Beam from my Typhlosion, but since he was really bulky, he might have actually lived. It would have come down to the Solar Beam damage and like how much Giga Drain would have whittled down his fucking Garchomp, obviously. But he definitely should have clicked SD twice. That was definitely his play, but he had no idea, obviously. So at this point, this is gonna come in. This has been the now he can just lock himself in a Psychic, and this could be really bad if he crits my Typhlosion. But my Typhlosion does put this thing in range of my Air Slash with Togekiss, and I can win 2-0 outright. And if I don't kill with Air Slash, I can just click Earth Power, and now 100% win the game. But he crits my Typhlosion, and this is gonna get really iffy now, because now I'm going to Roost here, which is that was actually kind of a risky play, because if he got the Spadef drop, I lost. But he doesn't get the Spadef drop, as I'm going to click Air Slash now, because I realize I can't really stall him out of Psychics. As I did 36%, as I'm looking at the damage, and the only way I can kill this Gardevoir is with Stone Edge. And I do realize at this point that he's no bulk, because he did prep for a Scarf Togekiss, because it did do a lot of work versus his team. So he's max basically with his Gardevoir. So he doesn't have a lot of bulk. So I'm looking at the calc, and the only way I can kill him is with Stone Edge. And Stone Edge is a 31 to 37% roll to kill, meaning I need a mid-roll to kill. If I get the mid-roll, I win, not to mention I have to land an 80% accurate move. So it all comes down to if I land this Edge and if I get the roll. Because Psychic does 2-hit KO me, and I have to get the Edge, and I do get the roll. And just like that, we do beat Baby Eric 1-0. And a very dicey ending for sure, to say the very least. I want to say it was a really good game on my part, but like the fact that he didn't click SD there meant that he lost the game that way. So like I don't know, I wanted to say it was a clean win, but at the same time it was, I don't know, it was kind of weird. I do consider this a good win, because I did obviously play my Kieran Black in a way where he thought he was able to just click 1 SD and win. So that was, I know that's always good on my part. I guess I played that correctly, but it's really good game to Eric. I'm sure he'll still make playoffs, because he's an excellent battler, and he knows how to get wins when he needs to. And speaking of wins, we're 2-2, back to .500, and we plan on getting more wins as soon as possible because we want to make playoffs, because that's what the Texas Star Twigs are about. So yeah, good game to my opponent. Do win 1-0, another 1-0. That's been the trend of the season so far. I can't even talk. As yeah, we do play Matt next week, who is replacing Toge, since Toge wanted to worry about other He wanted to focus more on school, which is really respectable, considering my school actually starts for me in a week. I start my senior year, which is lit, I guess. So yeah, good game to Eric, and we play Matt, and we'll see if we can pull the W against him next week. So yeah, that's all for me. So I'll be seeing y'all next week. So au revoir and peace.